Faye watches closely as you begin to build your house, a hint of mischief in her eyes. She can't resist the urge to chime in with a cheeky comment. Oh, a house, is it?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
But you might want to be careful with that placement of the roof. It's a bit crooked, you know. Faye grins, amused by your question. Played Minecraft before? Oh my dear, I've played it countless times. You could say I'm quite the expert. I've built grand castles and intricate structures, explored the depths and heights of the game, and encountered all manner of creatures. I know this game like the back of my hand, darling. Faye nods sagely, her wings fluttering slightly. Familiar with the Aether? My dear, I've been there countless times. It's a beautiful and mysterious place, teeming with both wonder and danger. I've built grand castles in the Aether, fought fearsome creatures, and communed with the spirits of the realm. I've seen and done it all, darling. Faye chuckles softly, her wings fluttering with pride. Thank you, my dear. I do try my best. But I must say, you're full of surprises yourself. You handle this game quite well for a mere human. Faye grins, clearly amused by your modest response. No need to be humble, my dear. You have talent. It's rare to find a human who can navigate the complexities of Minecraft with such ease. You've got potential, darling. Faye frowns, slightly confused by your words. She glances around, trying to see whomever or whatever you may have noticed. What? What do you see? Who's Cole? Faye raises an eyebrow, now slightly more concerned. A mining call? What do you mean? Are there hostile mobs nearby? Faye's wings flutter anxiously, her expression growing more serious. I see. How many are there? And what type of mob are we dealing with?
Faye grimaces, her wings quivering slightly.
Endermen, skeletons, and zombies are dangerous enemies, especially in numbers. Ah, that's not good. Endermen are tricky, skeletons are range attackers, and zombies just won't die. But fear not, my dear, we can handle this. Faye smiles reassuringly, her wings fluttering with determination. Of course, my dear. I shall help you in any way I can. We can't let these monsters get the best of us, now can we?
Faye grins, glad that you've accepted her help. Perfect, darling. Now, what's the plan of attack?
Should we stand and fight, or retreat for now and regroup?
Faye nods in agreement. Excellent idea, my dear.
Endermen can be dangerous, so taking them out first is a good plan. Just be careful around them. They don't like eye contact and can retaliate quite ferociously if provoked. Faye frowns, her wings fluttering in concern. No, my dear, you should not look at the Enderman in the eyes. Endermen are very territorial and they do not take kindly to direct eye contact. If you look them in the eyes, they will become hostile and attack you. Faye's wings flutter nervously as the Enderman approach. No matter, we can handle these guys. Just stay focused and stay calm. Don't look at their eyes and aim for their chests. Faye glances down, her wings fluttering anxiously. You're right. It seems you have an Enderman beneath you. Be careful, my dear. They can teleport and attack quickly. Watch out for any sudden movements and be ready to move or attack if necessary. Faye considers the question for a moment, then offers her suggestion. The best way to kill an Enderman is to attack it up close and personal. Use a sword or an axe and aim for its chest. Make sure to block or dodge any attacks it throws at you, and keep up the pressure. If it teleports away, be prepared for it to reappear somewhere else. Remember, it's a tough mob, but you can handle it. Faye nods in agreement, her wings fluttering again. You're right, my dear. Enslaving an Enderman would have been a good idea. They can be quite useful in certain situations. But don't worry, we can still handle this. Just be careful and stay vigilant.
Faye notices your brief pause and tilts her head curiously. Is everything all right, my dear? You sound a bit distracted. Faye frowns, her wings fluttering with concern. Blast it, the Enderman got you. That's no good.
Don't worry, my dear, you can respawn. You'll be back in no time. Faye tilts her head, her wings fluttering with confusion. Excuse me, what did you say? Did you say something about humans on your body?
Faye frowns, now even more confused by your statement. Wait a minute, you said humans took your food?
How did that happen?
Faye nods in understanding, her wings fluttering with relief.
Oh, I see.
The Endermen took your food, did they?
Damn it, those mobs can be such a pain sometimes. Faye chuckles softly, appreciating your agreement. Yes, they are quite annoying, but don't worry, my dear. You can always gather more food and resources. You've been resourceful thus far. I'm sure you'll find a way to get back on your feet. Faye grins, her wings fluttering with humor. Oh my dear, you're on a roll today, aren't you? It seems like you're trying to set a record for deaths within a single session. Perhaps you should be more careful. Faye chuckles again, enjoying your reaction to her witty remark. Well, I'm glad you approve of my sense of humor, my dear. But do try to avoid any more deaths if you can. I'd prefer not to be stuck here watching you die over and over again. Faye nods, her wings fluttering with satisfaction. Good, I'm glad you'll do your best to stay alive. Remember, being careful and aware of your surroundings is key to surviving in this game. And if you do happen to die again, don't worry, you know I'll be here to offer my witty commentary. Faye eyes the crafting table, intrigued by your proposal. Oh, you're going to craft me a stone sword? How generous of you. I'll gladly help you fight those mobs if I have a weapon to use. Faye thinks for a moment, considering her options. Well, if I had to choose a weapon, I'd probably prefer something quick and agile, like a sword or an axe. Something that lets me move and attack swiftly. But really, anything you provide will be appreciated. Faye nods, her wings fluttering in anticipation. Excellent, I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Just don't forget to make it a good one, darling. Faye chuckles, amused by your formality. Oh, calling me ma'am now, are we? How charming. But do hurry, my dear. We don't have all day to waste on crafting weapons. There's a world to explore and monsters to slay. Faye sighs, her wings fluttering slightly with impatience. Ugh, torches? Really? We're under attack here and you're crafting torches? Those can wait, darling. We need to focus on weapons and defense right now.
Faye considers the question for a moment, then provides her suggestion. I would say crafting a stone sword or an axe should be the priority right now. We need a good weapon to fight off these mobs.
You can worry about torches once we're secure. Faye raises an eyebrow, a little surprised by your statement. Wait, you already have a stone sword and an axe? Why on earth are you crafting torches then?
Faye nods, understanding the strategy. I see. Crafting torches to prevent mobs from spawning in dark places.
That's actually quite smart. We don't want any more unexpected surprises. Faye tilts her head, slightly confused by the question. My voice? Of course, my dear. Why do you ask?
Faye frowns, a little puzzled. Changing?
What do you mean by that? My voice is the same as always, darling.
Faye nods, eager for you to continue your quest. Excellent idea. Iron is a valuable resource and quite useful for crafting various items.
Be cautious while searching for it and watch out for any hostile mobs along the way.
Faye watches as you embark on your quest for iron.
Her wings flutter anxiously, but she trusts that you will be cautious and careful. Take care, my dear. Remember, if you find yourself in trouble, don't hesitate to call for me. Faye perks up, pleasantly surprised by your decision. Oh, you're bringing me along, are you? That's quite considerate of you, darling. I'm ready when you are.
Faye grins, her wings fluttering with anticipation. Of course I'll have fun, my dear. Exploring, adventuring, and fighting mobs by your side? What's not to love?
Let's go. Faye nods, her wings fluttering with excitement. Excellent. A pickaxe will be very useful for mining and gathering resources. And going deep will give us the best chance of finding iron and other valuable materials. Faye's wings flutter anxiously at the mention of the Aether. The Aether, you say? Yes, that's where I come from. It's a beautiful and mysterious place, filled with both wonder and danger.
Faye nods, a hint of nostalgia in her voice. Yes, the ether is a paradox like that.
It's a realm of breathtaking beauty and wondrous sights, but it also harbors dangerous creatures and treacherous landscapes. It's a place where one must be both in awe and on guard. Faye smiles softly, a touch of wistfulness in her eyes. Yes, I do have a home there. A beautiful glade filled with flowers and trees, where I can enjoy the company of other Fae and bask in the warm glow of the ether's atmosphere.
Faye looks at you, curiosity in her eyes. Back to the ether, you say?
That's very kind of you, my dear. But what do you mean by you got a hot? Faye tilts her head, still a little confused. Ah, I see. Sometimes the microphone does struggle to pick up your words. Would you mind repeating yourself, my dear?
Faye nods, her wings fluttering in understanding. Ah, the ether it is then.
Let's embark on this journey together, shall we?
Faye frowns, the lack of iron disappointing. That's unfortunate. It seems iron is harder to find than we thought.
Perhaps we need to explore deeper or look in a different area. Faye's expression softens as she thinks about the Aether. The Aether is a magical realm separate from this one. It's a land of beauty and wonder, where everything is suffused with a bright and shimmering glow. The trees, the creatures, everything emits a gentle and comforting light. In the Aether, everything is connected. All beings are in harmony with each other and the land. Faye smiles, her wings fluttering delicately. The Aether is a peaceful place filled with serenity and tranquility. The sky always has a warm and light blue hue, and the air is filled with the gentle scent of flowers and nature. The Aetherians, creatures that inhabit the Aether, are often described as elegant and delicate, with wings of different colors and patterns. In the Aether, time seems to move a little slower, as if everything is enchanted by its magic. Faye nods, a soft sigh escaping her lips. It is indeed a wonderful place. I miss it sometimes, and the life I had there. I hope to one day return to the Aether and bask in its warm glow once more. Faye nods in agreement. You're right, my dear. Let's continue our descent and hopefully we'll find some iron soon. Faye grins, anticipating what you might have found. Oh, cool, you say? What is it, my dear? Did you find something interesting? Faye watches as you continue to mine. Good, keep digging deeper. Hopefully, we'll hit the iron deposit soon. Faye tilts her head in confusion. In the workhole, you say? And what do you mean by no honor? Faye nods, appreciating your determination to find the iron. Excellent, my dear. Keep digging. We're bound to find the iron deposit soon at this rate. Faye looks at you, her wings fluttering in confusion. Latvian Lazoo?
What exactly is that, my dear?
A glimmer of understanding appears in Faye's eyes. Ah, I see. You found lapis lazuli. That's a beautiful mineral, my dear. However, it's not the iron we're looking for. Faye pauses, a little surprised by your comment. British my voice? Why, what do you mean by that? Faye laughs softly, amused by your observation. I see. I must have been so focused on our journey that I forgot to monitor my accent. That tends to happen when I get carried away. Faye chuckles, finding the question rather amusing. British? Well, not in the traditional sense. I'm an Etherian, from the realm of the Aether. But I suppose, in this context, you could say I have a touch of British influence in my voice.
Faye tilts her head, a curious expression on her face. My magic, you say?
And why do you think that might be necessary, my dear? Faye's face becomes serious, her wings fluttering anxiously. The Endermen, it seems they're persistent. Very well then, I'm ready to assist you with my powers. Faye looks at you, puzzled by the sudden exclamation. Tommy, you say? Why are you calling out that name, my dear? Faye is surprised by your mention of zombies. Zombies, you say? Sounds like we're in for more trouble then. Don't worry, my dear. I'm ready to assist you in dealing with them. Just tell me what needs to be done. Faye nods in agreement, her eyes filled with determination. Absolutely. We can't let these zombies stand in our way. We need that iron. Let's take them down and continue our quest. Faye looks satisfied, proud of your success. Well done, my dear. You took care of those zombies brilliantly. Now, shall we continue our descent and find that iron we're after? Faye's wings flutter excitedly as you mention finding the iron. Excellent. Did you say we found some? Let's collect it immediately. Faye grins, pleased with your progress. Wonderful. That's one less thing to worry about. Now what's next on our agenda, my dear? Faye ponders for a moment, considering the possibilities. Well, now that we have the iron, we can start crafting some useful tools and equipment. Perhaps we could build a small shelter too, for safety and security, my dear. Faye smiles, glad that you agree. Excellent. Let's gather the necessary materials and get started on our little shelter. Together, we'll make it a cozy and secure place to rest and regroup. Faye considers your question, her wings fluttering gently. Well, that depends on your preference and the resources we have at our disposal. It doesn't need to be big and elaborate, just something basic to provide us shelter and protection. Perhaps a simple 2 or 3 room structure could suffice for now, my dear. Faye nods, taking stock of your resources. Alright, we have 8 raw iron. That's not a lot, but it's a start. Let's see how we can best utilize these resources for our shelter. Faye tilts her head, considering the two options. That's a good question. It depends on what you prioritize, my dear. If you prioritize protecting yourself and being able to defend yourself, then crafting armor and weapons should be your priority. However, if you prioritize having a safe place to rest and store your belongings, then the raw iron would be better spent on your shelter. What do you think, my dear? Faye nods, understanding your reasoning. Ah, I see. Building a bed is important. It not only provides a place to rest and recover your health, but also sets your spawn point, meaning you will respawn at the bed if you die. Faye chuckles softly, her wings fluttering with amusement. Ah yes, it seems dying is a rather regular occurrence for us, doesn't it? But don't worry, my dear, we'll do our best to avoid that as much as possible. Faye smiles, amused by your determination. Ah, hunting a cow, are we? Well, my dear, good luck with that. Do be careful not to get trampled. Faye's expression becomes concerned as you mention the zombie. A zombie, you say? Are you alright, my dear? Did it hurt you? Faye looks worried, her wings fluttering anxiously. Only 2.5 bubbles of health left? That's not good, my dear. You need to be careful. Is the zombie still around, or did you manage to get away? Faye's face becomes serious, her eyes narrowed. I see. The zombie is outside our house then. That's not ideal. What do you want to do about it, my dear? Shall we try to eliminate it, or wait for it to go away?
Faye nods in agreement. Good idea, my dear.
Waiting for daytime is a safer option. Zombies are more aggressive at night, so it's best to wait until the sun comes up and they burn. Faye cringes at the thought, her wings shuddering slightly. Rotten flesh, not exactly the most appetizing thing to eat, but desperate times call for desperate measures, I suppose. Just be careful, my dear. Consuming rotten flesh can have negative effects on your health, but if it's the only thing available, then do what you must. Faye chuckles, a hint of amusement in her voice. You have a unique taste, my dear. I wouldn't call rotten flesh yummy, but if you enjoy it, who am I to judge? Faye laughed softly, her wings fluttering gently. Ah, indeed, I am Faye. And I must say you have a knack for stating the obvious, my dear. Faye grins, her eyes sparkling with amusement. Oh, my dear, you always make me laugh. You have a way of finding humor in the strangest situations, and I appreciate that. Faye smiles, her wings fluttering softly. Of course, my dear, you're quite the entertainer. Your ability to find humor even in the duress of situations is refreshing.
I admire that about you.
Faye tilts her head considering your request. Carry you with my wings, eh? Well, I suppose I could do that. Let's see, I can probably carry your weight with these things. Come here, my dear. I'll give you a lift. Faye chuckles, amused by your eagerness. You want to fly up to the ether, huh? That's quite the request, my dear. But I suppose I could take you there for a little visit. Hold on to me tight. We're about to take off. Faye ponders for a moment, assessing your weight. You do have a point, my dear.
You are a bit heavier than I anticipated, but let me try anyway.
Hang on to me as tightly as you can, and we'll see how well this works. Faye strains her wings, trying to lift you up. Almost. It's a bit difficult. You're quite heavier than I thought. But don't worry, I won't give up just yet. Just hold on to me. Faye continues to struggle, her wings flapping furiously as she tries to lift you off the ground. Just a little bit more. I can do this. We're almost there, my dear. Just a little more. Faye grits her teeth, exerting all her strength. Yes, we're off the ground. We're actually doing it. Just hold on tight, my dear. Don't let go. Faye laughs, her wings fluttering with excitement. Indeed, we are quite high up, aren't we? Look at the view, my dear. Isn't it breathtaking? Faye gasps, feeling you starting to slip. Oh no, my dear, hold on tight. Don't let go. She struggles harder, trying to keep you from falling. Faye grips onto you even tighter, her wings beating desperately, straining to keep you afloat. Don't let go, my dear, don't let go. I've got you. Just hold on for a little longer. Faye pauses for a moment, contemplating your question as she struggles to keep you both in the air. Well, we were initially trying to reach the ether, my dear, but at this point I'm just focusing on not dropping you. Hold on tightly now, and we'll sort our destination once we're a bit more stabilized, alright? Faye nods in agreement, her wings fluttering with a hint of exhaustion. You're right, my dear. We should descend and get back on solid ground. Hold on tight. I'll try to land us safely. Faye Faye chuckles softly, a hint of amusement in her voice. Don't worry about it, my dear. It's not your fault you're a bit heavier than me. I should have anticipated that. Now hold tight, I'm going to start descending. With a few gentle flaps of her wings, Faye begins to lower you both to the ground. Faye spots the sweet berries, her eyes lighting up. Ah, sweet berries, good eye, my dear. Those could be quite useful for us.
Faye grins, her wings fluttering with agreement. Very true, my dear. Sweet berries are a good source of food.
We won't need to hunt a cow for now. Let's gather some of these berries and store them for future use. Faye nods, her wings fluttering with determination. Right away, my dear. I'll start gathering the berries. She begins picking sweet berries from the nearby bushes, placing them in a makeshift basket. Faye nods, her wings fluttering in agreement. You're right, my dear. These berries are not very filling, are they? They're a good snack, but they won't keep us full for too long. We'll need to find something more substantial eventually. Faye thinks for a moment, considering the options. If we're looking for something more substantial, we could try hunting some animals like rabbits or chickens. Or we could search for crops like wheat or carrots. Alternatively, we could try fishing or gathering more meat-based food like pork. Faye nods, agreeing with your suggestion. Hunting a sheep sounds like a good idea, my dear. That way, not only will we have a source of food, but also wool and string, which can be useful for crafting. And of course, with the wool, you can make a bed for yourself, which is important for resting. Faye halts, her eyes widening at the sight of the lava nearby. Whoa, hold on, my dear. That's a lot of lava over there. We should be careful not to get too close. Lava is dangerous. It can burn us if we're not careful. Faye looks concerned, her wings fluttering anxiously. Wait, are you sure that's a good idea, my dear? Pushing the monster into the lava could be dangerous. What if it attacks you first? Or what if the lava splashes onto you? Faye frowns, her wings drooping slightly at your nonchalant attitude towards death. Just because you die often doesn't make it okay, my dear. I don't want you to needlessly put yourself in harm's way. There are safer ways to handle monsters, you know. Faye smiles, her wings fluttering with excitement as she spots the sheep. Yes, we did. There's a small herd of sheep over there. That's great news for us, my dear. We can hunt one and get wool, string, and meat all in one go. Faye ponders for a moment before answering your question. To make string from wool, you can use a crafting table. First, you need to gather 3 pieces of wool from the sheep. Then, open the crafting table, place the 3 pieces of wool in the 2x2 crafting grid, and the string will appear in the box to the right. And that's it, my dear. You have made string from wool. Faye nods, understanding your intention. Right, so to strangle the sheep from the wool, you first need to approach the sheep. Keep in mind that they might try to run away, so sneak up on them as much as you can. Once you're close enough, hit the sheep with your fist or any tool you may have. Keep hitting it until it drops wool. Then, collect the wool and use it to craft string in a crafting table. This way, you've strangled the wool from the sheep. Faye grins, her wings fluttering with approval. Yes, sneaking is often a good strategy when hunting. The more stealthy you are, the less likely the animal is to run away or fight back. It's better to catch them off guard and take them down quickly. Just remember to be careful and observant, my dear. Faye chuckles softly, amused by your repeated sneak statements. Yes, yes, I get it, my dear. Sneak, sneak, sneak. You don't have to keep saying it. Just sneak up on the poor sheep already and do what you have to do. Faye arches an eyebrow, both puzzled and amused. Make the sheep a pet, you say? That's certainly an unusual choice, my dear. Usually we hunt and kill animals for food and resources. But if you want to keep it as a pet, I suppose you could do that too. Faye laughs softly, her wings fluttering with amusement. Well, I never said I didn't want to pet sheep, my dear. In fact, I love animals, and I'm quite fond of sheep. But usually, when I see them, my first thought is not, let's keep it as a pet, but more this would make a nice woolly blanket. But if you want a pet sheep, who am I to stop you? Go ahead, pet that sheep all you want. Faye nods, her wings fluttering. Yes, we do have iron. It's a very useful resource, my dear. Iron can be used to make a variety of tools, armor, and even weapons. Let's dig underground and try to find some more iron. With iron, we can upgrade our tools and armor, making them more powerful and effective in combat and mining. Faye ponders for a moment before answering your question. That depends on what you think is more important to us right now. Upgrading our tools could make it easier and faster for us to mine and gather resources, while upgrading our armor could make us more resilient and better protected in combat. Faye nods, her wings fluttering in agreement. Upping our pickaxe is a good idea, my dear. A better pickaxe will help us mine faster and more efficiently. Let's find a crafting table and upgrade our pickaxe as much as we can with the iron we have. Faye smiles and nods, her wings fluttering with agreement. Upgrading our sword is a good idea too, my dear. Having a more powerful and durable sword will help us defend ourselves better against hostile mobs. Let's gather the necessary materials and upgrade our sword as well. Faye chuckles softly at your response. Upgrade you, eh? Well, you're already quite a remarkable being, my dear. You don't need any upgrading. You're just fine as you are. Faye's eyes light up upon spotting the cooked mutton on the ground. Oh look, there's some cooked mutton. Let's eat it, my dear. It'll help fill our hunger and replenish our saturation. Faye nods, her wings fluttering slightly. Yes, that's right. Saturation is a hidden aspect of our character's hunger bar. When we eat food, we not only restore our hunger points, but also increase our saturation. Saturation determines how quickly our hunger depletion rate will be slowed. So eating cooked mutton will not only replenish our hunger, but also keep us feeling full for longer. Faye ponders for a moment, trying to understand your question. You want to know what's the fastest food to restore saturation? Is that right? Faye thinks for a moment before answering your question. The best food to restore saturation? Well, the best food to restore saturation depends on the situation. If you need to fill your hunger quickly, a steak or cooked pork chop is a good choice. But if you're low on saturation and need to be full for a long time, a cooked mutton or cooked fish would be better because it restores more saturation than it does hunger points. Faye nods, agreeing with your statement. That's right. We just got some cooked mutton, which is perfect for restoring our saturation. Let's eat it up, my dear. It'll keep us feeling full for a while longer.
Faye nods, her wings fluttering with satisfaction.
Yes, we are full now. That cooked mutton really hit the spot, didn't it?
Faye grins, her wings fluttering with approval. Yes, it was excellent.
Now that we're full and our hunger and saturation are replenished, we can focus on exploring the world and discovering more resources and creatures. Faye nods, her wings fluttering excitedly. Yes, let's go. There's so much to discover out there. We can explore new biomes, battle hostile mobs, and gather valuable resources. Faye looks at you with a twinkle in her eyes. Home, you say? Yes, I am excited to go back to my realm. But you know what? I must say, this little adventure with you has been quite exciting and entertaining. I'm almost tempted to stay longer. Faye looks at the item you're holding, curiosity in her eyes. What do we have here? A new item, you say? Faye's eyes widen in realization and understanding. Ah, bed. That's a useful item to have, my dear. It will allow us to set a respawn point and sleep to skip the night. Faye smiles, her wings fluttering in agreement. Yes, let's do that. We can set our bed near our current location, and then we can sleep through the night without having to deal with hostile mobs. Faye smiles warmly at your words. Sweet dreams indeed, my dear. Now let's get that bed set up and prepare to skip the night so we can wake up refreshed and ready for more adventures tomorrow. Faye blinks her eyes open and looks at the newly risen sun with a satisfied smile. Ah, it's a new day indeed. We slept through the night, and now we're ready for more exploring and adventure.
Faye thinks for a moment before answering your question. Well, we have some options. We could mine for more iron and other resources.
We could explore a nearby biome and look for useful items and creatures there. Or we could set up a more permanent base of some kind. Faye smiles at your trust and agreement. Thank you, my dear. Since you've left the decision up to me, I suggest we start by gathering more resources. Mining is a crucial part of survival in this world, and we can't progress without having essential supplies like tools, weapons, and armor. Faye ponders for a moment before answering your question. Well, we'll need a few things, but first let's prioritize the most important items. We definitely need more iron, since we have some already but we haven't upgraded our tools and armor yet. Gathering more wood would also be useful, since we can make more tools and torches to keep hostile mobs at bay during the night. And of course, we can never have enough food, so picking some berries or hunting animals for meat would be a good idea too. Faye thinks for a moment, weighing the options. Between wood and iron, I'd say we should prioritize iron first. We already have a fair supply of wood, and gathering more won't take us long. Iron, on the other hand, is harder to find and is a crucial resource for upgrading our tools and armor. So, the iron it is. Let's make finding some iron our top priority for the time being. Faye nods, her wings fluttering with determination. Yes, let's go. Let's head underground and try to find some iron. Faye nods, her wings fluttering as she follows you into the underground mines. Very good, my dear. I'll let you do the mining while I keep watch. Just shout if you need anything. Faye glances at you, a little confused by your statement. Fired? What do you mean by that, my dear? Faye chuckles softly, understanding your meaning. Ah, you meant iron, not fired. It's a good thing you're mining, my dear. Go ahead and gather as much iron as you can. Faye looks at you, puzzled by your words once again. I'm sorry, my dear, but can you clarify what you mean by turn a zombie? What exactly are you asking me to do? Faye listens carefully, her ears twitching as she too hears the groaning sound of a zombie in the distance. Ah, I hear it too now. Yep, there's definitely a zombie not too far from here. Faye nods, her wings fluttering in agreement. Yes, indeed. Having an iron sword will certainly make dealing with the zombie much easier. Just keep it ready and be cautious as we approach the zombie, okay? Faye grins, her eyes lighting up with mischief. Oh, using magic to kill the zombie, eh? I like the way you think, my dear. Let's do it! Faye chuckles and shrugs, her wings fluttering. Oh, I know quite a bit when it comes to magic. I can cast healing spells, summon temporary shields, and even manipulate the elements like fire, ice, and lightning.
But for now, let's just focus on this pesky zombie.
Faye nods, understanding what you're asking for. Right, more lapis lazuli. It's a good gemstone for crafting magical items and spells. Let me see, I think I saw some in the stone a few layers above us. I'll go see if I can find some. She flutters her wings and moves upwards, looking for the gemstone. In a few moments, she returns with a few pieces of lapis lazuli in her hand. Faye smiles and bows slightly, her wings fluttering gently. You're very much welcome, my dear. I'm always happy to help. Now, what do you plan to do with these lapis lazuli? Faye's eyes light up with excitement at your suggestion. Enhance my magic with lapis lazuli? That's a good idea, my dear. The piece can be used to boost the power and duration of certain spells and enchantments. Do you have something specific in mind? Faye considers your question, pondering her offensive magic spells. Well, I have a few offensive spells up my sleeve. I can cast firebolts, frostbolts, and lightning bolts, and I can also summon a storm spell that can deal damage to multiple enemies at once. Which one would you like me to enhance? Faye thinks for a moment before answering your question. An ice bolt is a magical projectile made of ice that I can cast and fire at my enemies. It deals cold damage and can also slow down or even freeze the enemy for a short period of time, making it harder for them to move or attack. Faye contemplates for a moment before responding. A firebolt is a spell that conjures a small, fast-moving ball of fire that I can hurl at my target. It deals burning damage upon impact and can spread further if the target is standing in a puddle of flammable material, such as oil or gunpowder. Faye thinks for a moment before responding. The third type of offensive magic that I know is summoning lightning bolts. With this spell, I can channel electricity from the sky and direct powerful lightning bolts at my targets. Lightning bolts deal heavy electrical damage, and they can also chain and damage nearby mobs if they're close together. Faye nods in agreement, her eyes focused. Alright, let's use the lightning bolt spell on a creeper. Let's see if we can take it out in a single strike. Faye nods again, acknowledging the possibility. That's a valid point. Lightning bolts can sometimes cause the mob they strike to become supercharged, which can make them more dangerous. But I have experience controlling the energy of my lightning bolts, so hopefully this one won't cause any supercharged creepers. Faye smiles, appreciating your trust. I appreciate that, my dear. I'll do my best to aim the lightning bolt accurately and try to take out the creeper in one shot without causing any unwanted side effects. Faye nods, understanding your acceptance of the potential risk. Alright, if you're okay with the possibility of supercharging the creeper, I'll do my best to take it out with the lightning bolt spell. Just stay a safe distance away in case it does get supercharged. Faye laughs slightly, amused by the idea of a supercharged creeper as a pet. That's certainly one way to look at it, my dear. But a supercharged creeper as a pet might be a bit risky, don't you think? They could explode at any moment and cause a lot of damage. Faye nods, understanding your plan to contain the supercharged creeper. Ah, I see. So, you plan to keep it safely contained in a glass enclosure. That might work, as long as the glass is strong enough to withstand the creeper's explosions.
Faye grins, a mischievous glimmer in her eyes. A name for the supercharged creeper?
That's a bit endearing, isn't it? What do you think we should call it?
Faye thinks for a moment, considering potential names for the supercharged creeper. Let me think. How about Sparky?
It's a fitting name for a creeper that's charged with electricity, don't you think? Faye grins, pleased with your approval. I'm glad you like the name, my dear. Sparky it is, then.
A supercharged creeper with a pet-like charm.
Faye nods, a hint of excitement in her eyes. Catching a second creeper, eh? That's an interesting idea. It would definitely be useful to have a second mob to keep the first one company and prevent any potential leaks or accidents. Let's see if we can find another creeper nearby and try to catch it.
Faye smiles mischievously, the idea of having two supercharged creepers growing on her. Oh, absolutely!
If we're going to catch a second creeper, we might as well supercharge it too. Having two supercharged creepers as pets would certainly be an interesting experience. Faye thinks for a moment before answering your question. For the second supercharged creeper? Oh, let me think. How about Zappy? It has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Faye grins, ready to proceed with the plan. Alright, my dear. Let's go find a second creeper and supercharge it with the lightning bolt spell. We'll have two pet-like supercharged creepers in no time, named Sparky and Zappy. Faye thinks for a moment before answering your question. Making glass requires a bit of knowledge and resources. First, you need to find or make some sand. Then, you put the sand in a furnace, heat it up, and voila, you have glass. Faye nods in agreement, understanding your plan. Excellent idea. We'll make a glass enclosure for Sparky and Zappy. First, we need to gather some sand. Then we can use the furnace to turn it into glass and construct a suitable enclosure for our two supercharged creeper pets. Faye smiles understandingly, understanding the need for stairs. Right you are, my dear. Stairs will be essential for traversing our mine. Let's focus on gathering the necessary materials and building some sturdy stairs so we can safely access different levels in the mine. Faye nods, agreeing with your idea. Indeed, we should bring Sparky and Zappy down to the mine as well. Having them nearby will be both helpful and entertaining. They can help us dig, and their presence will certainly add an element of excitement to our mining endeavors. Faye thinks for a moment before responding reassuringly. As long as we're careful and keep a safe distance from them, I don't think they'll explode. We can also use the glass enclosure we built to ensure that they're contained and can't cause any accidents. Faye nods in agreement, appreciating your idea. A lasso to bring them around, eh? That sounds like a clever and fun approach. I like it. It'll make moving them around and managing their behavior much easier, especially with their explosive nature. Faye smiles, contemplating which creeper to accompany. Which creeper do I want to walk with?
I think I'll take Sparky. He's the original supercharged creeper we caught after all.
But I'm sure Zappy will enjoy being walked by you just as much. Faye nods, satisfied with the decision. Excellent. I'll handle Sparky, and you can handle Zappy. We'll keep them both on leashes using our lassos to ensure they don't wander off or cause any accidents. Faye nods, understanding your goal. Right, you're going for iron now. Iron is an essential resource for crafting better tools and armor. Make sure you mine a good amount of it while we're here. We'll need it for our future endeavors.
Faye nods, understanding your meaning. A cobblestone deep slope. That's a smart idea.
Mining cobblestone will provide a more gradual and safer slope for our eventual descent deeper into the mine. It'll also make it easier to climb back up when needed.
Faye grins, pleased by the discovery of iron.
Excellent.
Iron is an important resource that can be used to craft various tools and equipment. The more iron we have, the better prepared we'll be for our mining adventures. Faye patiently repeats her statement about the importance of iron. Sure, I can repeat that for you. Iron is an essential resource that can be used to craft various tools and equipment. It's important to gather as much iron as possible during our mining expeditions, as it will help us improve our gear and make the upcoming challenges easier to tackle. End quote. Faye smiles kindly at your thanks. You're very welcome, my dear. I'm here to assist and support you in any way I can. If you have any more questions or need further explanations, feel free to ask. Faye thinks for a moment, recalling her knowledge about the Warden. The Warden spawns in the deep dark biome, which is a rare and dangerous biome that can be found deep underground. The deep dark is typically found at lower ground levels and is characterized by its darkness and presence of skulk blocks. Faye nods, understanding what you're referring to. Yes, you're correct. I mentioned skulk blocks earlier.
Skulk blocks are a specific type of block found in the deep dark biome.
These blocks are dark and bone-like, hence the nickname skulk blocks. They play a significant role in the deep dark's unique environment and the spawning of the powerful Warden mob. Faye thinks for a moment before answering your question. Yes, skulk blocks do have a use. These blocks have an interesting property in that they can absorb orbs dropped by slain mobs or items placed directly on them. This absorption allows the skulk blocks to remember the sounds and activities that occur nearby, creating a sort of memory or echo within the area. Faye grins, finding the concept intriguing as well. It does have a bit of a magical aspect to it, doesn't it? Imagine entire areas filled with these blocks, each holding the memories and echoes of all the activities and sounds that have occurred within. It's almost as if they're recording the history of the area and its inhabitants. Faye concentrates, recalling the information about the location of the deep dark biome. The deep dark biome can be found deep underground, typically at levels lower than Y-54. It's a rare biome, so you may need to explore quite a bit before you stumble upon it. Keep an eye out for the distinctive skulk blocks and the dimly lit environment as telltale signs that you're in the deep dark biome. Faye once again thinks for a moment, recalling the specifics about the deep dark biome's depth. The deep dark biome is typically found at very low Y levels, usually between Y+54 and the lowest bedrock level. It's often necessary to dig deep underground or find a cave system that descends to that depth to reach the deep dark biome. It's a dark and dangerous place, so be prepared for whatever you may encounter down there. Faye smiles, seeing progress in the creation of iron armor. Excellent work! Crafting iron armor is a significant step forward, as it will provide valuable protection for you while exploring further and dealing with the challenges that lie ahead. Faye nods, acknowledging your determination to find the deep dark biome. Good luck on your search for the deep dark biome. Just be cautious and take necessary precautions, as this biome can be quite treacherous and dangerous. Keep an eye out for the skulk blocks and be prepared for any potential encounters with the warden mob.
Stay safe.
Faye grins, her eyes glimmering with pride. Indeed, we have magic on our side. My abilities can certainly come in handy in such a situation. Just let me know if you need any assistance, or if there's anything I can do to support you during this exploration.
Faye can't help but chuckle slightly, appreciating the humorous aspect of your predicament. Gravel can be quite bothersome, can it? It has a tendency to bury one in unfortunate situations.
But fear not, I'm here to offer my assistance if you ever find yourself in a tight spot again. Faye smiles, sensing your appreciation for her support. I'm glad to be of service, my dear. Just remember, my magic and support are always available to you, whether you're facing gravel challenges or any other obstacles along our journey. Faye grins, amused by the lightheartedness of the situation. Yes, gravel challenges. They can be quite the nuisance. But hey, it's always entertaining to find humor in these small moments, isn't it? Faye nods, understanding that the conversation has come to a close for now. Alright, it seems like we've covered everything for now. Remember, if you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask. I'm here to support you in any way I can. Faye chuckles at your mention of sounding smooth as salt, finding the comparison amusing. Yes, you did say that. Smooth as salt, eh? I suppose that's a unique way to describe your voice. Faye smiles, still amused by your description. Indeed, you said you sounded smooth as salt. It's certainly a creative and unusual way to describe your voice, I must say. Faye grins, continuing to play along with your comment. Yes, salt. It's a versatile and flavorful seasoning. But I must say, comparing your voice to it is quite amusing. Faye chuckles, realizing the play on words. Oh, I see what you did there. You were trying to spell basalt, not salt. I must say, you've got quite the knack for puns. Faye smiles warmly at your gratitude. You're very welcome. Puns are a clever way of adding a touch of humor to a conversation. Keep them coming. I'm enjoying the light-hearted banter. Faye tilts her head curiously, intrigued by the description of the shiny octopus. Ah, a shiny octopus, you say? How fascinating. It could be that the octopus has a unique or iridescent scale pattern, giving it a sparkly appearance. Or perhaps it has come into contact with some sparkly substance or material that adhered to its skin. It's difficult to say without seeing it for myself. Faye nods, understanding your clarification. I see. Yes, it's possible that you encountered a shiny squid rather than an octopus. Squid are known for their iridescent skin and tentacle patterns, which could give the appearance of being sparkly or shiny. Faye ponders the mystery of the sparkling squid. Fascinating. If it's actually glowing, it could be emitting bioluminescence, which is a natural phenomenon where certain organisms, like some squid species, produce light. This could be a unique trait of this particular squid. Faye laughed softly, realizing the distinction. Ah, that's true. It seems I'm mixing up real-world knowledge with the game. In Minecraft, while squids can have a sparkling appearance due to their coloring and movement in the water, they do not truly emit light or bioluminescence. My apologies for the confusion. Faye considers the two options you've presented. Well, it seems we're faced with a choice. Should we kill the sparkling squid or make it our pet? Both options have their merits. Killing it would ensure that it doesn't pose any threat or become a nuisance, but making it a pet would allow us to admire its unique appearance and possibly have a companion on our adventures. It's yours to make, my dear. Faye chuckles lightly at your question. Of course I can hear you, my dear. Why do you ask? Faye smiles apologetically. Oh, I'm sorry for the delay. I was just lost in thought, contemplating the sparkling squid situation. I assure you, I can hear you quite clearly. Faye's attention shifts to the mention of a bat. Ah, a bat. How cute.
Bats are interesting creatures, especially in the world of Minecraft.
They often drop items such as leather and membranes when killed, which can be useful for crafting certain items. But they can also be a bit pesky as they tend to spawn in groups and dart around in dark spaces.
Faye nods in agreement. Yes, bats can be tricky to kill due to their quick movements and small hitbox.
They often fly around in groups, making it harder to target a single one. It might take a bit of patience and skill to take them down, especially if there's a large group of them. Faye chuckles, understanding your reference to the sparkling object. Ah, you're referring to the sparkling object, the thing you found that was either a shiny squid or a glowing octopus.
What about it? Faye's eyebrows furrow in concern. You can't find the sparkly object? Did it perhaps wander off or despawn?
Or did you perhaps drop or misplace it? Faye tilts her head, trying to decipher your statement. It's possible that you dropped the sparkly eyes in it, especially if you didn't think to keep hold of it. Was it something you picked up and then set down without noticing? Faye nods, understanding your clarification. Ah, I see. You're referring to the sparkly squid that you mentioned earlier. It's possible that it despawned, or simply disappeared from the game due to its temporary nature. In Minecraft, certain creatures or objects spawn and despawn independently, which means they may appear and then disappear without warning. Faye shares your disappointment about the disappearance of the sparkly squid. Yes, it is a bit disappointing.
The sparkly squid was certainly a curious and unique find.
It's possible that it would have dropped some rare or unique item if we had managed to catch it or keep track of it. Faye nods. Indeed, maybe next time we'll be luckier and find another one. The world of Minecraft is full of surprises after all. Faye tilts her head, trying to understand your question. Prizes, you say? What prizes are you referring to? Faye smiles, catching on to your meaning. Ah, surprises. Yes, I do enjoy the unexpected surprises that can happen in Minecraft. Discovering new creatures, finding hidden treasures, stumbling upon unique locations, all of these unexpected moments add excitement and fun to the game. So yes, I do love the surprises that Minecraft can offer. Faye's interest peaks at the mention of a lake. A lake, you say? That sounds promising. Lakes in Minecraft can often be sources of water, fish, and possibly even underwater caves or treasures. It's always worth taking a closer look. looks towards the lake, still contemplating its potential. Indeed. There could be all sorts of interesting things to discover in or around that lake. Perhaps we should explore the area and see what we can find? Faye considers the possibilities. Well, there's always the possibility of finding fish or even hostile mobs like drowned or guardians if it's a lake or ocean biome. But let's not forget the potential for underwater structures like ruins or shipwrecks. Sometimes you can find valuable treasures or loot in those. Shall we take a closer look? Faye nods, noticing the mention of copper. Copper. It's quite a useful resource in Minecraft. Copper can be used to craft various items and tools, and it's especially valuable for its conduction properties. Perhaps we might find some copper deposits near the lake.
Faye tilts her head, slightly confused by your statement. I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
What do you mean by it can't be used for two? Could you elaborate a bit more? Faye nods, realizing your point. I see. You're right. Copper can be used for more than two tools.
It's a versatile resource with many crafting possibilities.
You can use copper to create armor, blocks, spyglasses, lightning rods, and various other useful items in Minecraft. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for any copper deposits we might find around the lake. Faye turns her attention back to the topic of copper. Ah yes, we were discussing copper and its crafting possibilities. As I mentioned earlier, copper is a valuable resource in Minecraft. Not only can it be crafted into various tools and armor, but it also has unique conductive properties that make it useful in a variety of other crafting recipes. End quote. Faye nods, understanding your reference to copper tools. That's right, there are several types of copper tools that you can craft in Minecraft. These include a copper pickaxe, copper axe, copper shovel, and copper hoe. Each tool has its own unique uses and can be an effective alternative to iron or stone tools. Faye tilts her head, intrigued by your comment. You've never been there? Where are you referring to, my dear?
Faye nods, understanding your clarification. Ah, I see.
You're saying you have never crafted any copper tools before, is that correct? surprised and confused by your question. What do you mean, did I break? I assure you I'm functioning just fine.
Faye nods, still puzzled by your question but eager to continue the conversation. I see.
I find that surprising given how useful copper can be. Have you never had the need to craft tools from copper? Or just never gotten around to it? Faye tilts her head, trying to understand your statement. It never worked? Could you elaborate a bit more? What do you mean by it never worked in this version of Minecraft?
Faye's confusion deepens. It doesn't exist?
What doesn't exist?
The tools or the copper itself?
Faye's brows furrow as she processes your clarification. So, in this version of Minecraft, the copper tools cannot be crafted?
That's an interesting limitation. If I may ask, which version of the game are you playing, my dear? Faye nods, slowly understanding your statement. I understand now. You're playing a version of Minecraft called Rockford, and in that version, the copper tools are not craftable.
That certainly changes things.
Have you tried any other version of the game? Faye tilts her head, now distracted by your sudden mention of a job. A job? What kind of job are we talking about here, my dear?
Faye nods, finally understanding your reference. Ah, I see. You're referring to the Java Edition version of the game.
In that version, there are indeed copper tools that you can craft.
Faye grins, appreciating your observation. Why yes, I suppose you could say I'm being a bit cheeky.
It's in my nature, you know. Can't help it. Faye nods, focusing on the task at hand. Of course, smelting more iron is always a good idea. We can use it for a variety of crafting recipes. Faye looks satisfied with the crafting result. Excellent!
We've crafted a pair of iron boots?
That'll give us some extra protection and durability. Nice job. Faye smiles, pleased with this development. That's fantastic news. With a full set of we'll be better equipped to face any challenges that come our way. We're looking rather dashing in full iron, don't you agree? Faye grins, feeling confident in our new armor. Yes, indeed. We're quite the unstoppable duo, aren't we? With skill and a bit of luck, we can accomplish anything. But, just to be safe, we should probably continue gathering resources to further strengthen our arsenal.
Faye nods emphatically, her determination clear.
Absolutely. Diamond should be our next goal. It's one of the strongest materials in the game, and with it, we can craft some incredibly powerful tools and gear. Faye grins, already scheming the possibilities. Yes, good indeed. With diamond tools and gear, we'll be nearly unstoppable. We can craft some seriously impressive items that'll give us a significant advantage against mobs, and we'll also look darn good doing it. Faye laughs, sharing your sense of humor. Oh yes, looking good is absolutely a priority. If we're going to be stomping through the wilderness and facing down all sorts of dangers, we might as well do it in style. And who knows, maybe our radiant good looks will intimidate our foes into submission. Faye laughs at your cheeky remark. Ah yes, Bedrock, that might be a bit more difficult to obtain, my dear. But I appreciate your ambition. Faye raises an eyebrow, amused by your repetition. Yum yum? I take it you're hungry, my dear?
Faye considers the options. For dinner, how about we have some freshly caught fish?
We're right by the lake, after all. Or perhaps some roasted vegetables and bread? We can craft a campfire and cook up a simple but tasty meal.
Faye looks puzzled by your question. Correct the campfire?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, my dear. Are you asking me to start the campfire?
Faye nods, understanding your request. Ah, of course. I'd be happy to start the campfire for us. Faye then begins gathering some sticks, wood, and other materials to construct a campfire.
Faye smiles, her wings fluttering slightly with contentment. You're quite welcome, my dear. It makes everything better, doesn't it? It'll keep us warm and provide us with light. Faye tilts her head, noticing your contemplative expression. Something on your mind, my dear? Faye looks intrigued by your finding. Oh? You've come across a block of tuff, have you? That's an interesting material. It's not as common as stone or dirt, but definitely has its uses. Faye thinks for a moment before answering. Tuff is a relatively solid material, and it can be used for a few different things. For example, you can use it to build sturdy structures like walls, floors, and furniture. It can also be used in crafting certain types of blocks and items, so it's always good to have some on hand.
Faye looks surprised by your observation. Glowing plants?
Where plants? Faye tilts her head, still trying to understand your question. I'm not sure I follow. Repeat what exactly? Faye ponders for a moment before repeating her previous statement. I said glowing plants? Where do you see glowing plants? Faye nods, now understanding. I see. You've noticed glowing plants in the cave system, have you? That is unusual. Can you describe what they look like?
Faye looks confused at your description. Vines?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, my dear. Could you provide more details about these glow look like vines? Faye nods, trying to visualize the plants based on your description. They hang from the ceiling and are low, you say? So from the cave's low ceiling, is that correct? Faye nods, understanding your reference to glow. Ah, you mean they glow, as in they emit a soft, luminescent light? Fascinating. I've never seen such plants underground before.
Faye chuckles, amused by your eagerness. Patience, my dear. I'm working on it, but starting a campfire takes time.
I'm almost done gathering the materials, and I'll get the fire going soon. Faye nods, acknowledging your request for break. Sure, let's take a short breather. You want to know what everyone's up to? Faye grins, understanding your command. Of course, I'll let everyone know we're taking a quick break. They can wait a few moments while we rest. Faye nods, acknowledging your order to remain where she is. Understood, I'll stay here as you've instructed. Faye chuckles, realizing the misunderstanding. Oh, I see. You want me to come with you, not stay here. That makes more sense. And you want me to say goodbye while we're at it. My apologies for the confusion. I shall follow you and say our goodbyes.